Good morning, everyone. This is Professor Dean, and today I'm going to go over chapter 1, which is talking about power. So, when we're talking about power, we're looking at the acronym power and talking about what power means. Power means prepare, organize, work, evaluate, and rethink. That is what power means: prepare, organize, work, evaluate, and rethink. So the first thing we're looking at in this chapter is, what are some of the things that we do to prepare for college? And we're preparing for college a little differently this semester than we normally do. But to prepare, we're talking about 1, getting our textbook ready. 2, we're talking about prepare in regards to getting ourselves together, learning online environment. All right, so that's pretty new this semester. We're learning how to use Blackboard. We may be learning how to use Canvas. We may be learning how to use Zoom. But that is what we're doing to prepare. Means to get ready. Now, that is talking about preparation for college. There's some other things that we do to prepare for college, like we have to fill out some forms. That is prepare, right? We have to fill out forms. We have to fill out forms for financial aid. We have to fill out forms for advisement. We have to fill out forms on the very first day. So that is what we call prepare. Your textbook also talks about setting goals, and in chapter 1 we did setting long-term and short-term goals. So what is our goal? As a class, the goal is to do what? To do something. So as a class, our goal is to pass all our classes. That's a goal. But we need to add a date to it. So we're talking about pass all our classes by the end of the semester. The end of the semester would be, yes, the end of the term by May 9. So all of us should have that as a goal. So we're passing all of our classes. But without a date or a time, it is not an effective goal. So we're passing all of our classes at Miami-Dade College by the end of the term. That should be the goal of everyone in this class. Now let's talk about another thing. We're going to talk about organization. When we talk about organization, we're talking about putting things in order. Putting things in order. So, in terms of putting things in order, we have to organize ourselves. We got to get our things ready. But we organize by putting things in order. So there's 2 kinds of organization according to your textbook. There's a physical organization, where we know all the materials that we need for SLS this morning. We have that. Then there is a mental organization. And what do we mean when we say mental organization? We're talking about when we have our brains ready. Means we eat some food, we get dressed, and we have to do other things like come ready to focus in the class. So things may be on our brain this morning. Life may be on our brain this morning. But what do we have to do? We have to put that situation aside to move on. So we got to be ready physically, And we also got to be ready mentally. So again, there's two kinds of organization, physical and mental. Now let me move on to the next area, which is something that I may spend a few minutes and focus on a little differently when they talk about developing a growth mindset. And also we're going to talk about a victim mindset. So let's talk about a growth mindset. A growth mindset is when we're talking about what? Moving from one stage to the other. Just like how you grew from a baby to an adult, a growth mindset is talking about how you develop your mind, how you change your mind. So, I'm going to do two examples. And when I do the two examples, we're going to see what we call a growth mindset. Growth, Growth. Again, Growth. Growth mindset versus a victim mindset. So let's do a example, and I want you to think about it. This is all in relation to college. Man, I'm coming to Miami-Dade College, and I'm studying hard. But I did all my work, and my professor says I failed the first test. You know, I don't know what's wrong with that professor. I tell you what, I know what's wrong. It's that accent that she has. That's why I failed. I can't understand her lectures. It's this online thing that we're working with. Blackboard don't work well. Zoom don't work well. I gotta be doing everything on my own. That's why I failed the test. That's not fair. Now, I want you to think about that scenario for a minute. And I want you to tell me, who is that student blaming? Again, who is that student blaming? One, that student is blaming the professor. They're blaming the online technology. They're blaming the environment. But nowhere in that statement did that student talk about, did they study well? Let's move on. Let's listen to another scenario. I failed my test. I don't get why. I'm going to go talk to the professor and see what happened, why I failed my test. I'm going to go online to YouTube, to Blackboard, to see if I can find some more information on these next chapters. I'm going to see if I can learn to write my notes better. I'm going to see if I can learn how to do some test taking tips. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get up and I'm going to study 30 minutes a day. What kind of mindset do you think that person has? That is what we call a growth mindset. So earlier I talked about the first scenario, and you can listen to it again, where the student was blaming everyone for her problems, blaming everyone for failure, blaming everyone for the situation. That's what we call a victim mindset. But we are also talking about a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is where we take responsibility for our actions. Where we talk about, let me see what I can do better. That is what we call a growth mindset. Your textbook also talks about motivation. What motivated you to be at college? Why did you get up, get dressed, eat some food, sign online? What is your motivation to be in college? Why did you decide to attend Miami-Dade College? So let's talk about that. Our motivation could be internal motivation, and it could be external motivation. So when we talk about internal motivation, we're talking about what comes from within us. Some of us may be, man, I wish I had a new car. The other one could be, maybe I want to move out of my house. Maybe I want to get the house that I desire. Maybe I want to move out of Florida. Maybe I want to get a job so I can help people. That could be your internal motivation. Now let's talk about your external motivation. Your external motivation has nothing to do with you. Again, Professor Dean says has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with someone else. So your external motivator could be your parents. They could say something like this: I know you're getting a college degree. You are not staying in my house, eating my food every day, and can't help to pay some bill. That could be an external motivation. So we talk about internal motivator, and we talk about external motivator. Right? So there are two things we talk about: internal, external. Internal is from you. External is what? Somebody else. It could be a parent. There could be other people who influence your life. Other people that influence you to say, I want to be like that person. I want to be like that doctor. I want to be like that teacher. I want to be like that other person. And they could be what we call the external motivator. The external motivator is someone who influences you. So I want you to tell me today, who influenced you to be in college? It could be that teacher that you had from K through 12. It could be that person that you've watched working. It could be that movie person that you watch, that channel that you watch all the time. And you says, I want to be like that person. Your motivator could also be your money. Like, man, they make 6 figures. I want 6 figures. So that motivator could be money. I want the money that others